What's up, everybody, and welcome back. My name is Jason Pickett, and I'm an international adjudicator, choreographer, and mentor. And I'm excited to get into another piece here. We've gotten 2 critiques done from the UDA Nationals 2025 in the hip hop category. That's going to be our focus for at least the time being. And some great pieces, Today's piece that we're taking a look at is the University of Memphis. Had a lot of requests for this one. It's one that just like the other ones, I saw it. I've seen it once on my phone, but I'm really looking forward to actually digging in deep and paying attention because as we all know, our viewer eyes are a little bit different than a judge's eyes. So I'm going to take a look at this routine, see what I think of the choreography, see what I think of the execution. And as always, remember that these are adult dancers. These are college dancers. These are experienced dancers that are not new to feedback and critique. This is not a critique of them as individuals, simply a critique of this routine and my opinions on it. So let's hop in here, yeah? The fit is dope. Right away, that was one of my initial impressions of this routine when I saw it on my phone when it first happened. Is like the outfit is sick. Really good energy, really good performance right off the bat here. This is a dope intro. I wish that was a little bit more grounded. I wish that was a little bit heavier. We're a little bit soft in that footing as we make that transition. I wish it was just a little heavier in the shoulders and in the upper body just to really kind of get that bounce out a little bit more. And I feel like collectively some of our pictures could just be a little bit bigger in terms of our execution of the actual movement. This is sick. That's sick. Let's take this back a second here. So really good intro here. We talk about the intros a lot. This is a dope intro. I also want to shout out that I like the idea of starting off center. That's not something that a lot of other teams did. It's not something that a lot of teams do in general. It's just not something you think about too often when you're choreographing. You kind of always think from the center out. So I think that definitely shows a layer of commitment to the piece and the choreography and the vision because somebody had that side of insight to kind of change things up a little bit. Setup is really good in the intro here. There's kind of a running theme throughout this routine that there's some moments that from a choreography standpoint are really dope, but from an execution standpoint are just missing the mark ever so slightly. When we go through that monastery-esque moment, we're just not using the upper body enough. We're focusing it too much on the arms. We don't have enough weight into the lower body, so it just kind of takes away from that moment. That's a really cool visual right there. Again, level right there should be a lot lower as we go through that groove right there. Dope little musicality moment right there. Really cool visual as well, and I love the setup of that trick. That transition, I feel like we could have used a lot better to kind of fold everybody into that next moment because there's a lot of space right there. So then the next moment doesn't hit as much because we're kind of paying attention to the transition itself. So we're just watching that transition, and then there's some blips right there as well in terms of when we're leaning back, the timing of it, the execution of it. So that part is just kind of a missed opportunity in my opinion. Good transition right there. I love the way that kind of sweeps out to this larger formation right here. Again, I wish there was just a little bit more punch behind some of our movement. That's a really dope set right there, but the footwork is off in terms of the alignment of the feet and where the feet are as we go through that moment right there. Some dope choreography right here, really clean and clear. This to me, and when I watched the piece the first time through, I almost wish they would have stayed in this bag for more of the piece because I think this section right here that we're getting into really represents Memphis dance and Memphis street dance, and I think that there's some really dope elements in this next portion that are just really different than everything else that we saw. This is sick. I wish more people joined this dancer in that section. If it was an add-on, that would have been a nasty moment. This is such a sick section though. This section of choreography is nasty. A little bit of timing issues right there and a little bit of clarity in terms of the lines and the imagery as well. As we went down into that footwork, we were just off a little bit. This is a dope little moment right here. Again, I love that we're representing the city. I love that we're putting on the school as well. It's a cool little interaction moment, but it doesn't feel super purposeful. And then the way they just kind of walk back as things are happening. We talk about transitions all the time. We talk about moments all the time, and we have to be, it's really hard to create those moments. You know what I mean? It's really hard. This is a really, really dope add-on. Like, this is a nasty section, but the level needs to be lower. We need it to be way lower in that moment and really charge forward in order for that to be super, super impactful. It's a cool visual right here. A little bit sloppy in some of those transitions and some of those windows and lines as well. Just a lot of cleaning that needs to kind of get tightened up in some of these moments. But I think from a choreography standpoint, this is a really, really dope piece. I think a lot of my critique purely comes from execution, some transitional work as well, and then some cleanliness. There's a lot of cleanliness issues watching it back and watching it kind of like more intently. There's a lot of moments that just were off, timing-wise, pictures-wise, footwork-wise, lines-wise. And we don't have to be the most clean in the whole entire planet, but if, as you know, collectively throughout the whole routine, we're not as clean as possible, then it just kind of leads to an overall impression of not that clean. So overall, a really, really dope piece. Again, the costume is sick. It might be my favorite costume that I've seen for sure. But yeah, thanks y'all for tuning in. I love doing these critiques of these routines, and I think it's so dope to just kind of take, dance to this level of sort of feedback and commentary. And let me know what y'all think in the comments, and let me know what you want to see me critique next.